Welcome to World of Marketing Podcast, a Foster Web Marketing production. Here's your host, Tom Foster.
Hey everybody, it's Tom Foster on the World of Marketing, and today I have got a great guest, one of my good buddies and clients, John Griffith of Tennessee. You're going to know he's from Tennessee as soon as he starts talking.
That's right.
So John Griffith is a personal injury attorney in Tennessee. Where in Tennessee, John?
In Franklin, Tennessee. It's about 17 miles or so south of Nashville. Country Musicville.
Country Musicville, and we're going to talk a little bit about that because you are a fellow guitarist and musician, as I am, and so we have that in common. We got that pretty quick. So we met. You've been a client for what? 3, 4, 5 years?
About 6 years.
6 years, yeah.
2015-ish that I met you through Ben Glass, Great
Legal Marketing, which is, of course, who's sponsoring this podcast is Great Legal Marketing.
Yeah, I love Ben Glass, man. I owe a lot to him. He's really
well, you're in the mastermind group too, aren't you?
I am. I am. Icon now.
Hell yeah.
But I went up there to Washington, D.C. Last month to Virginia to his office, and that was really nice. If you can travel in the age of COVID like I can. The fares were cheap. There was no waits in the line in the airport at all. It was plenty of room on the plane. It was easy peasy, man. I told my wife, like, book vacations now. This is the time to go.
It is. It's true. It's true. So yeah, you in the Icon with in Great Legal Marketing, and we met 6 years ago when you came up to Great Legal Marketing, and
you and Chad, just number one, I like you.
You were with you, but you had a partner then, right?
I did.
Yeah,
I did. And that is in the past. And we were both wanting to go different directions. He was wanting to slow down, and I was wanting to.
You were ready to
ramp it up,
right?
And so we had a good parting. I think both of us are happy now, so I think that's positive. So great guy, and I'm loving my life now. I tell you, I'm doing exactly every day what I want to do. And
well, let's talk about that, because at that point you had one associate, and now you've grown. You got 5 attorneys now.
5 total, 4 associates, me, and 6 support staff. And I was really worried in the age of COVID that we were going to have some growth problems, and the roads were empty. Nobody was driving. The parking lot was empty, and like, I get my business through congestion, and that was causing a substantial slowdown, and it was evident in the numbers last year. But as soon as Tennessee is a little bit more edgy and rowdy than a lot of states, and a lot of people here were wanting to get back on the roads. And I think when they did, back starting in June, when things picked up, when they got back on the roads, they really forgot how to drive, because we had just horrific fatalities and really bad things happen. And we're fortunate in our business, not that those happened, but that we got a lot of that business. So that's been very helpful. And Foster's been, you guys have been with us every step of the way. We've been with you every step of the way through our growth. And it's been a great, from my standpoint, a great relationship. And I'm very thankful to all that you've done and all the worries that you take off of me.
Well, we're appreciative of you. So you're also are you still the Tennessee Trial Lawyers Association president?
Yes, I am. I look forward to vacating that and giving up my post in about 3 months.
Well, that's got to be an interesting job to have during the COVID era, right?
It's been frustrating because I feel like selfishly, I feel like I've missed out on a lot of opportunities, because we have a lot of interaction with judges and from all over the state, and I just did not get to do that in person. We've done it, by Zoom, which is second best. But it's been a challenge. The biggest challenge is not having jury trials going on, and that is going to change for us here in Nashville. I've been told, I don't know this, I haven't verified this, but I've been told by the court system there that I'm going to have the very first jury trial in Tennessee in the year 2021.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm on April 19th. We're set.
That's kind of a big deal, John. Look, we got to market that.
Yeah. I'm really excited. I'm just happy for my client. She just needs her day in court.
Yeah, for sure.
These cases, at first they were kicking the can down the road and, continuing cases here and there. Now it's just a giant trash heap. And these cases are like a big, to use a terrible analogy, it's like a big clogged colon and it needs to be released. we need to get the pipeline moving, my friend.
I hear you.
And my trial calendar right now, I've got about 23 cases set for trial between now and September, which I don't know that I can physically try that many.
Wow.
But I think once we try a few and maybe hopefully hit a few big verdicts that, they'll start settling cases again. But, taking the devil's view, why would they settle our bigger cases? Like, basically what they've told us in the past year, I'm getting off point here, is what are you going to do to us? You can't do anything to us. We've got the money and we want to hang on to our money and there's no jury trial. So what are you going to do? And I'm like, I'm not going to beg. I'm just going to keep pushing these cases as much as I can and try to get better. And that's been one of the positives of the pandemic. There have been tons of free CLEs, great CLEs, Trial Lawyers University and some other places. And man, I've been soaking that up and just trying to be a better lawyer.
That's fantastic. So you've been able to, you brought up your, the website earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the website is generating you traffic and leads. Otherwise you wouldn't be, we wouldn't be talking.
Yeah.
And so, but you're working on a referral program at the moment. Are you working? Is that something that you're working on?
Well, we've pretty much got it in the pipeline, in the can. We have attorney referral. Well, let me back up. What I do mainly outside of Foster, and Foster is the hub of the wheel. It's everything emanates from our website. But we've got, of course, I've got a book, the Ben Glass recommended type book. I've got that. I've got a second guide for paying your medical bills, and we get pretty good traction on that. I've also got 3 newsletters. We send one out to about 800 attorneys who practice domestic, criminal law primarily. We send it out to 2,500 former clients. And we also send it to orthopods and orthopedic doctors and chiropractors. We've got a separate email for that. A newsletter for that. And
is that a print newsletter, John?
It is. Hard copy goes to them. We even print them in the house. But we send them off for mailing and sorting and all that stuff. So we've got it down to about as cheaply as we can do it. We send 2,500 plus 800 plus another 500. So that's 3,800. We send all that out for about $10,000 a month is what.
Wow.
So
wow, good for you. I hope everybody heard that investment that John makes in his marketing. That's just one thing that he does.
Yeah. And then I get, being president of TTLA, first of all, I just love this organization. It's the only group of lawyers that I really love. But I do get a lot of, I've just had a vision from day one. I've loved trying cases and I always want to do that as long as I can. But I've always had this vision that I would get referrals from other lawyers who either don't want to try cases or don't have the skill set to do that. And so I've just tried to try as many cases as I could have from day one and learn as much as I can. And there's so many great resources now to help you be a better trial lawyer. But that I'm meeting with lawyers regularly. The other thing I'm doing is focus groups. We've started doing those about 2 years ago, and we up until the pandemic we would do them almost monthly, and now we're doing them by Zoom monthly. And we've gotten a lot of cases either from past jury members in actual trials, past focus group participants. Um, and I have other lawyers that I invite if they've got a good case and they want to just kind of date me for a minute. I'll focus group their case for them, and that's starting to be a new avenue of referrals too. So I'm getting a lot of lawyer referrals, and the good thing about that is these lawyers are doing their own mini advertising, most of them domestic and criminal, and so they're already screening most of these cases out, as you know. So it's usually my better cases come through these referrals of lawyers that I know or getting to know.
That is, I hope everybody listened to that, because it's interesting to me, John, hearing you explain it back to me, when that's pretty much what I tell people to do 24 hours a day. What you just said. Oh, by the way, I do these things. I mean, guys, those of you that are listening, this is the referral program to the stars. And you heard him say it, that the best clients come through these referrals. The best kinds of clients come through these referrals. They've already been scrubbed, if you will. They've already been qualified, and they're coming almost in a gift bag from another lawyer that you work with. And so everybody's got these relationships with other lawyers that don't do what you do. And so it's just logical to set up this relationship. And you're such a nice guy. And, you're just such a cool dude to talk to and hang out with. So getting referrals has got to be pretty easy for you.
Well, you can't forget out of sight, out of mind is.
Plus, you're a great lawyer. Okay. So let's not forget that part.
Try to be. But you got to remember, out of sight, out of mind too. I mean, I recirculate these lunch. I mean, just going to lunch at least twice a week, is my goal, to go with other lawyers and just
that's great.
And I may not have seen them for a couple of years, but go out and just keep the connection going. And so many times there have been guys that I've spoken with and see where they had a former referral relationship with a lawyer and they never heard from them. They never just really got any love from them at all. And so, I mean, we have a process where we keep them in the loop. I've got a list of lawyers that I call regularly. I mean, I spend a lot of time, every ride home, which is fortunately not that long, I'm calling lawyers and just trying to say thanks. And
you just got to remind them of you're reminding them of you, that keeping you top of mind, so they don't. So when anything comes, it's a simple thing to do, right? It takes effort. You can't be lazy. You've got to, and obviously you've got some discipline there. You're a pretty disciplined guy. Everybody, right before I pressed record, he was telling me that he's doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So that's pretty damn cool. How old are you, John?
I'm 54. I wish I'd have started.
Hey, we're the same age.
I wish I'd have started this when I was 34 or 20.
I was wondering about that, because that's fantastic. Wow, now I feel like a smaller man that you're doing that, and I'm not.
Well, I could talk about, we could have a whole nother podcast on what little I know about jiu-jitsu. But the cool thing about it is, the reason I started doing this was my son and I have been talking for 2 years. He's a senior in high school here at Franklin High. He was saying, Dad, I'd really love to take Krav Maga or something, and sport like that, just some martial art. And so I looked into it, and I had a buddy of mine, Matt, who's in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And then I had another client that went to the same school as he did. And I'm like, why don't we try this school out? I'm just getting some messages. This is too weird that I've got two people right in a row that are going to the same school and love it. And so my son and I started on 1st of January this year, and I stopped counting at 58 times that I've had my butt kicked and I've had to tap out. And I've passed out. I've been choked unconscious. Uh, and my wife, and I come home beat up, scarred, my neck's hurt, and my wife says, "Why do you do this?" I'm like, I just look, I'll tell you this. My wife said this too. She said, "Jiu-Jitsu has changed you." She said, "You're already a good husband and good father." She said, "You've been a much better husband and father since you've been doing this." I
Interesting.
love this stuff. It's addictive. And I'm going to put some moves on you next time I see you, Tom.
All right, that sounds good. Well, you're a big family man. You talked about what other kids do you have? You got a son and a senior. What else? Who else?
I got a daughter at University of Tennessee. I got a son, senior, in Franklin. I got a sophomore, Jolie, and I've got Zoe, who's 11, and I've got my baby doll, Ella, who's 4 years old, and she's
So you have 5 kids too?
5 kids like you.
Wow, we have a lot in common, man. That's
Yeah,
funny.
we're master at making kids, I guess.
Yeah, we are, aren't we? Except you did it a little different. You were like, do. I did do. Then there was a 14-year wait, and then do. So that's my oldest is 29.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
So I have 29, 28, 26, 13, and 10.
Well, another reason I'm doing jiu-jitsu and some other things, like I work out, but I've done many different programs, but yeah, my daughter's 4 years old. I'm 54. I'm 50 years old when she was born. So,
Yeah.
I'm going to be the oldest guy, most likely, of all of her peer class. And so the old man's got to stay in shape. I got to play soccer with her, coach her
Exactly.
team, I'm eating better. I'm trying to do all things right.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I think is really cool, and anybody that's friends with you on social media sees this, but you do this thing with Jenny, your wife. You guys will you play guitar and sing together, and it's very cool. Wish I could get my wife to do it. Actually, I've been able to get her to do it, but just not post on social media. But tell us a little bit about, you're a great family guy. What drives you? Like how they drive you?
I'll tell you, well, speaking of kids, I had 3 in a former relationship, former marriage that I had, and then that went south. A lot of that was my fault for working too much and just not being the best father, best husband, and you know, you really pay a price for everything. It's going to follow you, and so I got divorced in 2010, and then met my wife Jenny in 2013. And I'd had a vasectomy then too. I don't know. And then I met her. She wouldn't have another child, so I had that reversed, and then we had Ella.
Oh wow! So you had a reverse vasectomy, and it worked.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. So I had to really work to get Ella into this world, and she's been such a blessing. And I'm trying to, you say, they grow up so fast, and you need to spend quality time with them, and I'm really trying to do that now, and I still don't do as good a job as I should. I worry about work still sometimes, but I mean, that's just life, and so, but I'm trying to intentionally place myself there with her. And
You just got to balance. It's difficult. You got to balance it out, and I think you do a pretty good job at that. All right, you just keep it up.
Got a great wife, and Jenny. Speaking of the singing, this is kind of funny, but Jenny sings all the time, but she's the most shy individual in the world. I mean, I'm like, you are so selfish. You've got such a great gift, such a great talent, and you won't share it with anybody. So I secretly recorded her doing a couple of songs, and then I put it on the internet, and I mean on Facebook, and she got a lot of positive response. And so now she's singing in our church and choir.
That's
And
so great.
she has got a voice that just melts your heart, and I love it. And as I told you earlier, I'm not looking for fame or money or anything like that. I love being a lawyer. I'm doing my gig, but it's just candy to my soul for being able to do this. And I just absolutely love it. It makes John Griffith very, very happy.
And we're going to put a link to your video that you did. What was it called? Don't sign the...
Oh, don't give a statement.
Yeah, don't give a statement. So we're going to put a link to your song that you did, Don't Give a Statement, here for everybody to see that, because that was great.
Yeah.
You should keep doing stuff like that.
Well, if I had a conversation with you before one of those videos, because I wasn't sure, the thing you worry about as a business owner is like, man, for me, I'm always, at first I was Mr. Humble Pie. I'm like, man, I don't want to get on TV and tell everybody how good I am and all that stuff. And I'm kind of being facetious when I say that, because I don't think that's the right way to market. But I had to talk with you one time. You're like, yeah, man, put these videos on your website. Put it on your bio page. Let people know that you're different. Let people know that you got a life outside of this. And so I just say hats off to you for kind of giving me the courage to take that step.
Well, it's no different than what you just were talking about with your wife, And the fact is that people buy from people they like, and they stay connected with people they like, and that's who you are. And you have this talent, and just like what you were saying to your wife, that's selfish of you not to share it with the world. And like, yeah, you don't need to obviously make money. I just spend money on all the gear and equipment, and I just love doing it like you do with my family, with my my kids. I've got my son my 10-year-old is taking drum lessons now, so I can I can start another band with the next generation, and we'll see. But anyway, keep at it, man.
I've wanted to play in your band. I've made several requests.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna. I know we talked about doing that, and then COVID hit, but
yeah,
that was because I want to do a gig at Great Legal Marketing again, and have you play. So we'll put that together. I'll play some country. I can play some country. So,
yeah. All right.
I got a little country in me.
We'll see how
Not as much as Chad. Not as much as my brother.
Bat Chad.
Yeah, that's
I told him you need to do a reprieve of Bat Chad. That is hilarious.
Okay, so I got a signature question that I ask everybody. It's a 2-part question. So it's one question with 2 parts, like a lawyer question, right? So
compound. Objection compound.
What is the worst marketing campaign or thing that you did? The dumbest, worst thing? And then what's the best?
Gosh. The dumbest thing I think I did, it's not that dumb, but it's the first thing that comes to mind. The dumbest thing I did was take out an ad in Tennessee Trial Lawyers magazine for other lawyers to add to my drip campaign. And there was no response, but I'm advertising to trial lawyers. And I'm like, I knew that wasn't very wise to do that. I mean, I don't think it was bad. I'm trying to think, what's the other dumb thing that I've done? Well, the dumb thing that I did was it took me like 3 years to write my book. It took me, it was just, I don't know why. And then I finally just locked myself in a room for a week and got it done. The best thing that I've done marketing wise, I really have to say, and this is not meant to fluff your skirt up, but is getting Foster Web to help me with my website. I went through literally 8 people. There was a guy in Nashville who wrote the book on attorney SEO marketing, and that was a disaster. That was my worst mistake, using those guys. That was my terrible mistake. And then, we saw pretty much immediate results with Foster, but it's only gotten better over time. And I think that's the best thing I've done additionally is to learn to write, and to write in my own voice. I'm not a big fan of ghostwriters because I kind of have a edgy tone. It's all throughout my book, throughout my blogs. And I like it. It's fun. And sometimes I think, I was just thinking last week, man, I've written everything there is to write, you know? And then one of the best things that I've done in the past 5 years is the Miracle Mornings by Hal Elrod. And that's kind of my morning routine. Sometimes I'm crazy. I was up at 3:30 this morning, 3:15. And, but I wrote 2 blogs this morning.
Good for you.
And I got a lot of reading out of the way that I needed to do, some work done, and just to organize my thoughts. But those blogs, and then I came up with about 5 additional ideas for additional blogs. So just journaling helps me come up with ideas. But I used to be fearful of the blank page, and now I just want time. I just want time to sit back and relax and sit on my front porch in the springtime and just get up early and just have coffee and just write away. It's fun. It feeds me, and I make money off of it. And I get really good ideas that people respond to, and then we get new clients off those issues. So yeah, I've been fortunate that somebody told me early on, you and Ben Glass, who is your avatar client, and always write through their eyes. And so I'm always trying to think of that. That's what we do when we're attorneys. We're talking, we're trying to see our case through the lens of our jurors. Same thing with marketing. It's exactly the same thing.
100%. I couldn't have said it better. Everybody, John Griffith is implementing everything that a successful law firm should be doing marketing wise. It's a journey. It's not, you're never done. You're constantly doing it, but you heard him. He's up at 3:15 writing blogs. Now I don't recommend that for everybody, but you're a disciplined guy. That's great in between, but you're an entrepreneur, and that's what we do. I mean, I'm quite frequently up at 3, 4 in the morning, doing stuff. I outsourced my writing a long time ago, though. So I don't, I let other people, you can't even tell the difference. Uriah is who writes everything for me. And you can't even tell like, sometimes I'm like, wow, this is really good. I wrote, no, I didn't write it.
Yeah.
But it sounds just like what I would write. But anyway, well, John, thank you so much for your time.
Not done. We're not done.
We're not done.
Okay. I got a surprise for you. Hold on.
Oh, here we go. What do we got?
Here we go.
Hey, all right.
All right. I wrote this about 30 minutes ago.
Oh, this is fantastic.
I'm in Nashville, baby. So you got it.
That's great.
Let me start. I'm a little nervous. Right. Wait, let me start over. Let me get a pick now. Little ditty about Major Tom Foster. All the other web guys, they are just imposters. He points away like Galileo. To me, he's my Mr. SEO. Oh yeah, I'm at the top of the page. Tom Foster's killing it against those half his age. I love my job, I'm held by Foster well. Tom and his team get me there step by step. There's more. He plays his guitar to burn stress when he's pissed. Where he rides his bike, he falls off and breaks his wrist. Oh yeah, he loves the Marines. But you have to question the man who hates chicken wings. Oh yeah, he fights his mortality with P90X and playing strategy. Eating organic foods, not grown in factories. When it it comes to making babies, he displays mastery. Little did he. Now Tom watching Star Trek pretends he and Spock are on the flight deck. There you go.
I am all shades. That it was fantastic, John. What a gift.
I
That
hope
was
you like that.
fantastic. I've never had anybody do that. That was great. Plus that you sat, I mean, your playing is very good.
Hey man, I'm auditioning for your band at the same time, right?
You're in for sure. That was fantastic.
Glad you liked it, brother. Thanks for all your help, Tom.
You know it. Well, thank you for being a great client and a good friend. And I hope to see you soon. You have to take a trip. Next time you come up here, you got to get together. The boat's going in the water soon. So you'll have to come up for that.
I'm ready.
And bring Jenny.
I'll do that.
All right, buddy. Thank you,
right,
John.
Thanks a lot.
Everybody, thank you. It's been Tom and John on the World of Marketing, and what a great song. We're going to splice that, put that out on the phone and make you a star. Thank you. Thanks.
All right, brother.
Thanks, everybody. Hang tight.